That's what I was going to ask you. You mentioned VRLA cells. Does this work on all of them?
Anybody's AGM battery. There's older ones that worked a little better. Well, and some of the older ones, every manufacturer's made improvements to their manufacturing. Gel batteries, we've done very little with that. We did some in Europe. I tried to get Dr. Brent to explain to me why it would do something, but he spoke some English, I spoke no German.
Right,
And so in Leck, Berlin, we were having a conversation, finally I walked away, I go, okay.
I didn't learn anything.
Well, I know the man's a genius, but I came away not knowing why some of the gel would improve a little bit, but it's not like AGM. With AGM, that mat has dried out,
Right.
lost contact with the plates.
And I went down that bunny hole too. I mean, I come up in telecom, and so I knew dry out was an issue. I didn't understand the rest of the issue with the omics.
Yep.
And so, well, you saw it. I wrote a paper
Yeah.
back years ago, and I suggested putting a pouch of
Yeah.
ionized water in there, and eventually positive plate growth would rupture the pouch and cut loose this
water.
extra water.
Yeah.
Which basically,
Voila.
soak back into the mats and problem solved. And,
Yep.
and of course, the answer was that didn't solve the problem.
Yeah, right.
Or wouldn't solve
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
All right, so back to this. What is the success rate on this, and why? Is there a warranty on the success?
Okay, the success rate now is 99.9999. We've had one string that we don't understand why it didn't recover. One out of thousands through 20 years. We are so confident that if we don't accept every battery to do this, because some of the got issues, there's nothing we can do
Some of
about
them are just too far gone.
it. We
Well,
might
these are
do
2-volt cells, right? Not
Well,
monoblocks.
yes, only 2-volt cells. There's no economics in doing
Right,
it in a
right,
monoblock
right.
because of the effort that goes into it. We will guarantee that we will make internal ohmic improvements, or you don't have to pay us. We do the job, spend all the effort. If we don't make the improvement, and again, I want to emphasize, in the internal ohmic values, you don't have to pay. We're not guaranteeing a capacity or that. Capacity and reliability and runtime go along with it. But as you know, a properly saturated valve regulated battery, you also can't drive it in thermal runaway.
Right.
It's got to be dried out. So we eliminate that.
But it's cause and effect. If you
Yeah.
improve the omegs, eventually it's going to work better.
Yes. Yes.
Fair enough. Some people, what do you say to the people that call this smoke and mirrors? Because I just heard 99.99% it works.
Well, I think the reason that people do it, there's a couple of reasons. People that primarily sell batteries really don't want us to recover them for a fraction of the cost.
Because they want to sell more
replace it.
batteries.
Yep. But also, if you look way back, because we're the company that discovered when C&D had their issues with dry out and created the process that they used later on, the volumes. I mean, this was all when we were working with Sprint and Croda and them. And there's people
God
that,
rest his soul.
yep.
I've got some of those ashes outside my office.
Yeah, I do
window.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. That a little vial. They sent it out. People that would try to do this would just go in water. We gave them volumes. They came back with different volumes. We ended up Sprint with our volumes, and C&D agreed to it. But I had a gut feeling that this wasn't just going to benefit battery research, and it didn't. I mean, it was like C&D said, we'll do it in Texas, we'll do it here. Well, we would have gone there. So their success rate wasn't exactly as good as ours. We also had learned a lot more about the high rate charge, the importance of that. So they've come a long way. But the initial ones, we've always made improvements. Some weren't as good. Way back. Look at the ones in the beginning. It was just water. Then the water and the catalyst. Then we realized, well, no, the catalyst will help because it's going to help keep the negatives polarized, help keep the gases recombined in there. But sometimes, like any sulfated battery, like the manufacturers will say, some sulfation you can drive off just by a high rate charge. Some you have to cycle the heck out of it. Some you can't drive off.
Small amounts.
Yeah, right, small amounts. Yeah, correct.